Huda, your worries in this villa have just begun. I had a really busy weekend this weekend, so I didn't get a chance to do episode 10, but I am going to do it now. So this is going to be 10 and 12. I do skip After Sun, so that's why we don't have episode 11. I'm super excited to get back into it with you guys. I'm Reality Reactions, and let's get into it. So here we are. The bombshells have entered the villa. The game is over. The little BDSM game they did. The guys and the girls talk to get to know the new bombshells. First, everybody talks about their relationship status, where everything's at. Huda is actually playing nice. You know what? I had a little faith in you because you did pull out your favorite word again, but you're playing it fake nice, so at least we can get it through a conversation. Pepe talks to Hannah, gets to know, she tells Pepe that she's getting to know Charlie, but really still exploring. And then they get to know each other, of course, went to the same college, they start flirting, she's feeling him. And then we have Nick and Iris talking. They're getting to know each other. Huda lets Sierra know that Nick is getting pulled. Of course, she doesn't like that, but she, is playing it cool. She's not going over there interrupting or anything. And then basically Nick and Iris tell each other that they're each other's type. And then Sierra is kind of pissed, which I would be too, because my man is not going to be laughing that hard. Why is he? Nothing is ever that funny unless I'm saying it. So, and then, had a great time, or had a hard time focusing. So let me actually start over. Nick was talking in his confessional and saying, I had a hard time focusing because I was looking at her body so much. Nick, calm down. You are not going to go after every bombshell that comes in. Eventually, this is going to get old and Sierra's going to want a commitment from you. So get all your feelings off now because your time is almost up. So now we have Sierra. So she's kind of getting riled up. So she wants to walk by them. Huda's kind of hyping her up, trying to show off her looks. And then Nick goes into confessional again saying, he kept it chivalrous, but Iris is a baddie. Watch it, Nick, once again. And then Huda and Jeremiah talk in soul ties. And then they talk about, or Huda asks Jeremiah how he feels about the male bombshells. He can sense that she is trying to get a reaction out of him. So he's just like, what's up? Like, let's get to it. What are you trying to say? And then he was like, I bet they'll get to know you for sure. And I don't think that's the reaction she wanted. And then basically, you know what? I don't think that they actually will pull her because she's already so locked down and talking to Jeremiah. It doesn't even make sense for them to risk not being picked at all and going for Huda. She put herself in a pickle, like just focusing on him because no one else will ever be interested in her because they're not trying to get dumped from the island for a maybe, not even a maybe, like half a maybe. But it would be interesting to have someone, especially for Huda, because when Jalen came to kiss her, she was acting out. So I would be very, very interested how she would feel if someone was like, no, I'm coming for Huda. They've been bringing in girls for Jeremiah, but I want a man that is like, no, I want Huda and I don't care. So that would be very interesting to see. And then she asks, can you do more? Like, I thought you were going to do more. He does not like that. He is like flabbergasted at the audacity for her to ask him for any more than he's already given her. So then basically he's still he blames it on still processing that she has a kid. And I'm just like, if it's taking you this long to process, I don't think you want it. Just be honest with her. She needs your honesty more than anything because you're going to waste her whole Love Island trip or her whole Love Island time just to not win. No one is voting y'all for the winners. So he needs to, if he wants the money, if he's really there for the money, he needs to get someone else. And then you could see, but it was honestly, you know what? Huda has her problems, but I was really sad because the look on her face, you could just tell she's been through this before where guys are interested in her, but not her kid. But at the end of the day, like, this is the consequences of you having a kid so young. I mean, you did what you thought was best at the time, but now there is consequences to it, good and bad. And then he thought, he's saying he thought he did make her feel better or feel special. And she's saying he does, but she wants him to do like the little things, the romantic things, around the villa that everybody else gets. And I'm just like, you can't be jealous of other people because some people are more insecure in their couple than you are, or not even focused, or not even committed to their person. Like Alandria, there's no chemistry there. There's just not. And he's not even putting in a half effort. Like, even these little dates, it's just like, and when they kiss, it's like outside of a challenge, it just feels forced. So I wouldn't be so envious if I were her. So basically, they go back and forth about that. She wants him to do more, but doesn't want it to feel forced. And I've definitely been in that pickle where you're like, I want you to do something, but I don't want you to do it because I'm asking you to. I want you to do it because you want to. But then how are they going to know if you don't tell them? It's a crazy thing that you go through, like in relationships. Then he said he'd be forgetting also because all the craziness going on. Oh, y'all know how I feel about forgetting. You did not forget. I don't know. And forget are my two biggest pet peeves. But I'm going to let it move on because she moved on. So I'm going to just move on. He's not. And then she asks, oh, you don't like me being so dominant? He says it's not that he doesn't like it, but he's just not used to it. Then she ends the conversation by getting on top of him. It was kind of cringe for me. He seems irritated that she left a hickey on his neck. She says she didn't. And then he calls her a pathological liar, which was kind of like, okay, are you dropping seeds like just insults disguising as jokes? Like, what are you saying right now? So then we jump to Alondria and Taylor. They talk, get to know each other. Or sorry, not Alondria and Taylor. Alondria and Jalen. I think he could be really good for Alondria. I think she seems super excited to talk with him. They have good chemistry. I'm ready. I'm excited. And then we have Ace tell Taylor to step his game up. But honestly, it would be such a big turnoff if he did, step his game up, because it's just like, bro, it took you this long and it took you another man to let you know you're serious about me. That I'd be like, no, please don't even try now, because it was too late. You should have stepped up when you had the chance, and I was your only option. And then, of course, Taylor knows, and he's like, it's basically, they both agree that it's going to be a rough week for him. And then they make a joke about how his accent is thicker than Taylor's. Jalen tells Alondria that she caught his eye. Alondria says that Taylor and her are good, I guess, and she likes him, but definitely not closed off. I was kind of iffy on the I guess part. I'm like, Alondria, don't try to switch up now. But then again, it's like, it is kind of shaky, so I guess she's telling the truth. And then we have her in the confessional. She's already picking out their wedding song. So that's, again, a sign that she is really, really feeling him. And then I was like, well, what happened to slow burn? If you're thinking about the wedding's kind of, you skipping a few steps. But I'm glad that she feels excited. Amaya and Pepe get to know each other. And then Amaya is really feeling him. I don't know. I couldn't get a real read on him feeling her. And then she makes it clearly known that she is done with Ace. And then we have Iris, who sees Jeremiah as she's walking through a hallway or something. He's going up the stairs. She tells him, oh, I was going to pull you, but Huda said that you guys are closed off. And he was like, oh, even on some friendly stuff, I want to get to know you. No, this is Love Island. I don't need another friend. I want a man. I'm not going to I wouldn't even pull him personally, but I know producers probably wanted to fester like those rumors or like those, feelings, or just getting the feels out there, and also to get to Huda's reaction. So, she pulls him the next day, but we'll get to that. And then we have everyone getting ready for bed, and then we have Shelly and Austin actually cuddling. I'm like, girl, once again, it's a turnoff that now you're trying to cuddle with Austin after Iris comes in. A white blonde haired, white girl probably thought it was his type, and now you want to get all close. Don't do that, Shelly. And then I think Alondria and Taylor were definitely getting a little handsy. I couldn't really see nothing, but I think, something was going on in that bed. And then we have Hannah and Charlie kissing, of course. Huda asked Jeremiah, does she have anything to worry about since she's not his girlfriend? He said no, if we're together. Ooh, that means you got something to worry about when you aren't together, which is now. Huda, read the signs, girl. Read the signs. And then she asked, would you share your location? And he says, no, I don't like that. Personally, that's a red flag. I know that people are commonly saying like online, like, oh, it's just a personal choice. But I'm just like, for me, I don't know. It's not. I just feel like if you have nothing to hide, you should feel comfortable sharing your location with me. But of course, he says he doesn't like that. And then she says it's really hard for her to trust people because she gets scared that they're going to leave her. Girl, been there, done that, wrote the book, came back. I definitely understand that. But that, it got me really sad though. But, I hope that she really heals from that. Everyone gets up in the morning. Nick tells Sierra that he's going to wake up and cook breakfast for Iris, as a friend. I just did air quotes because you can't see it, but as a friend, supposedly. She said, "Oh, that's so nice of you," and I couldn't tell if she was being sarcastic or not. But then Taylor, Alondria tells the girls that Taylor was very handsy. They said, of course he was. They thought he would be after Jalen applied some pressure. Pepe says he had a good conversation with Hannah. Huda complains that her breakfast is not cooked all the way. Iris goes to Iris, and then she says that she is kind of getting the ick from Jeremiah because of the hickey, and it's kind of like childish that Huda's trying to mark her territory in a way. Nick is talking to Ace about the love triangle he is in, but Ace says there isn't any. She know where home at, so we'll see. Ace takes Shelly on a yoga date. Shelly likes the things that Ace is doing, but don't fall for a girl. It's just for a season. I agree with everyone else. Once you apply pressure back, he is going to be uninterested. And then we have Huda and Jeremiah talk. She says hi. He says, "How are you doing?" And then she starts her complaining. She says the pancake was underdone, so she had to throw it away. But she appreciates him making it for her. He tells him that he needs to finish all his food because he's a man. Huda, we are in 2025. Please let those gender roles go, or whatever you're trying to do, or be slick. If there's some under the surface problem, you need to just speak upfront about it and stop saying slick stuff. Then she says she makes it even worse by saying, "Oh, you should thank your boy Taylor for helping me with my pancakes." Trying to be slick. It's just like, are you really trying to get at this man's manhood now? You think that that's going to really make things better? And then Jeremiah's like, "Oh, you said you wanted to make breakfast. Am I supposed to help you every time you want to do something nice for me? So you want me to cook my own breakfast that you're trying to be nice and give to me? Come on, I'm not doing that." So of course Jeremiah gets irritated. He feels like he does all things right, but once he does one thing wrong she doesn't like, she just disregards everything he did and then just fixates on that and nitpicks. And then he explains, like, you get mad at another man helping you cook breakfast instead of me. Like, he thinks that's ridiculous. And she's like, yeah, because you were right there. And I understand you wanting him like to do more, but this is not it. Then she takes it one step further and saying she believes this is how a man should treat their woman. Oh, Huda, just stop. Stop right here, girl. Come on. You are making it so much worse. She feels this situation, or he feels the situation could be handled differently, and is a red flag to him, because how are they supposed to have healthy communication if little things like this are going to rock their world? She leaves because, of course, she's again irritated. She feels like when she's expressing her feelings, he laughs, and she doesn't want him to do that. Jeremiah is now talking with Nick and Charlie about the situation, and her saying that another man shouldn't be cooking her food. They both think it's ridiculous, and it's early days. So they're like, bruh, if you decided, and also Jeremiah's like, he has to decide between staying with Huda and moving on. And then they let him know, like, hey, if you decide to move on, you have, options, and you are, justified in your opinion, because it is just early days. She is not your girl. Huda also talks to the other girls about Jeremiah and how he should step up and do little things. So they both have their own perspective, but they eventually get good at the end of the episode, so it's all good. Charlie and Nick tell Jeremiah he has opportunities to leave, of course. Iris comes up to Jeremiah in the midst of this talk and says, she wants to pull him. Of course, producers probably told her to do it now. They walk right past Huda and the girls, so Huda was trying to play it cool, but of course she felt bothered. And then we have Iris and Huda getting to know each other. He reveals that he's a competitive Uno player, which is pretty cool. Jeremiah says that right now they had a rough morning, but he's not going to switch up just because of one issue, which is good because, people go through ebbs and flows. Like, you can't just hop ship and hope that Iris is going to pick you, because that's a maybe. Huda's a definite yes. And then we have Pepe pulls Sierra in front of Nick, and then he kind of, they go upstairs to get to know each other. Nick doesn't like seeing them talk, but of course, being the, bombshell magnet that he is, he can't even be mad because everybody wants to talk to him. And And then Pepe tells her he felt like she was the girl he needed to talk to. Sierra feels happy that he is here, and he pulled her for a chat. Alondria and Taylor are having a yoga session with Austin. It was kind of odd, but at least the effort counts. Alondria has not fallen for it though, because she goes into the confessional and says, "Are you really just doing this because of the bombshell, or are you doing this because you like me?" And I said, "Yes, Alondria, do not fall for it." Chelly and Alondria are talking about Chelly's indecisiveness again. Chelly, let's be honest. You know where you want to go. You're just taking it slow so you can stay in the villa. I'm done with this indecisiveness. Please do not give this triangle any more of my screen time. I'm done. I'm not even invested anymore. I love you, Chelly, but please move on and tell people who you want and who you don't want, especially. And then we have Alondria tell Chelly that Austin is stressed and has been fighting tooth and nail for her since day one. And then Ace says that he is open to getting to know everybody. He tells Iris that. He used to be a lover boy, but now that so that really didn't work out for him, he has more of a wall up, which makes sense. Ace is really excited to get to know Iris, and he feels she is a really easy person to talk to. He's attracted to Iris and really shocked by their connection. Huda and Amaya talk. Huda wants Jeremiah to act right, and Amaya says, "I think he is acting right." And then Huda's like, he's just not doing enough. She wants to, have the little things, the romantic things that other girls are getting. So they talk about that. And then she says, "You could be the most attractive person in the world, but she will leave." Huda, give him some time to, change up his act. I know I definitely get like that too. Like, don't play with me and don't play with my time. Amaya says maybe he's not the romantic type. Therefore, then it's in your court, Huda, to see what you want to put up with. And then she says Huda says that Jeremiah rubs it in her face that he makes her breakfast every morning, but she feels like that's the bare minimum, which in the villa it kind of is. Huda says that he is going to lose her if Jeremiah doesn't step up. Austin and Jeremiah talk. It takes one and about the argument again. Sorry, but they talked about it a lot this episode. So they talk about the arguments with the pancakes. If she gets mad over this, she ain't for me, Jeremiah says. Amaya tells Huda she is a strong woman and will make the right decision. Everyone gets ready for the night. Iris tells the girls the chat with Ace went really well. Ace tells Taylor that the chat went really well on his part as well, but keep it on the hush because he's still planning stuff out. Therefore, planning on how he can stay in the villa and still explore his options. That was very suspicious to me, because if you are a transparent person, why are you trying to keep things on the low? Anyways, and she just told all the girls, so don't even try to keep a secret. And then we have Jalen, who wants to talk to Alondria again. The boys are talking in the bathroom, and Taylor says Huda asked him to make the pancakes, and he didn't just step in and make it. So that is a very big difference for Jeremiah, because it's not like he just came in and saw you struggling, just helped. You asked for help. So what do you want me to do at that point? They play Truth or Dare once everybody gets to the table. Nick and Iris talk. Nick is happy she walked into the villa. Iris said that her attention was initially on him because that's her type. Nick feels the chat with Iris went really well. Even though he is coupled up with Sierra, he wants to get to know each other. Sierra and Pepe talk. The conversation went better than they both expected. They got to know each other more in the morning. Taylor and Nick talk about how good the yoga date went. And then we have Alondria and Jalen getting to know each other better. Ace and Iris talk again. Ace said his wife is probably out of the country, which was very interesting. It was definitely giving passport, bro. But I'm going to let that slide because I'm going to give him a couple more chances to explain himself. And then we have, but then she touched his shoulder, and I was like, uh-oh, you better start spazzing out. Come on, don't do a eye like that. You better put some stand on business about you not want to be touched. And then we have, she asked, "Oh, Ace, are you sleeping in soul ties?" And you could tell that she was, I don't know if she was insinuating she wants to sleep with him, but it was definitely in the air. And then he just had this look on his face like, "Girl, I am just here for the money. Don't be trying to get up on me. This is game. This is what they call game. Not for real. This ain't relationship vibes. This is what they call game. I'm not gonna end my streak of being single. I'm not gonna do that. I've never been in a relationship, and you will not be my first. And then Pepe comes up and talks to Charlie and says he wants to talk to Hannah and he has to leave. Boy, are you serious? You just got here. Do not run up on me and tell me I gotta leave and you want to talk to my girl, especially for my girl. No, I'm glad Charlie said no, because you need to find somewhere else. I'm making my guac. And then they leave. They find another place to be. Austin comes over to help Charlie make the rest of the guac. Hannah and Pepe talk to get to know each other more. Charlie and Chelly talk about his worries and why he feels, worried about Pepe coming around and stealing his girl. Charlie decides if he wants, or Charlie has to decide if he wants to fight for Hannah or let the relationship go if she leaves with Pepe. Of course, Hannah and Pepe start kissing, and then she gets on top of him, straddling. Are you serious? If you saw Charlie do that, that would be insane, girl. Please calm down. Let your hormone levels go a little down first. And then we have Hannah that say, of course, Hannah did too much. And then, that pretty much ended the episode. Let's get into episode 12. Okay, and it's episode 12. So Hannah and Pepe get back from the speakeasy. They go to a group of people. Nick says, you have makeup on your face to Pepe right in front of Austin, which is one of Charlie's good friends. So, of course, he gets up and tells Charlie. They're mad that Nick said something because now Austin's going to go tell Charlie. Then as Austin walks up, Chelly tells Charlie that she doesn't think she's off of Charlie. She's just trying to get to know, explore her options. Hannah made out with Charlie in the same spot as Pepe. That comes out at the table. And then Taylor encourages her to keep that in there. Make sure you tell Charlie when you're telling him about this kiss. Charlie comes up to pull Hannah to talk about it, and then Hannah gets all nervous, and I'm like, don't be ashamed now. You want to lock lips and make sure you're exploring connections. No, tell your man what you did, because now you feel bad. So don't be trying to do it if you don't feel bad after. And then Charlie is telling her it's good on the outside, but I know that he's pissed on the inside, and it comes out later. Chelly and Austin talk again about her indecisiveness, but you know what? Chelly is sick of giving him reassurance. And a TikToker reminded me that Chelly actually picked Austin and Ace out of the first sighting of when they first got on the show. So I'm like, maybe she really does find Austin attractive. Maybe she does really like him, but I get reassuring someone to no end. It's just like it does get exhausting, but Austin better know his place or be ready to move on. And then we have Hannah, who I already said that, actually. Let me skip that. And then we have there's no resolve, of course, at the end of that conversation. Of course, there's always a cliffhanger with Chelly, Ace, and Austin. I am done. I said this in my last episode review, but I am done. Chelly, please be done with this and just break up with Austin so you can run off into the sunset, or just find another connection. Why aren't you talking to Jalen? Anyone wondering that? Where is Jalen with Chelly? And then we have Huda and Jeremiah talk. It comes out that she actually is mad at Jeremiah because he didn't step up and do romantic things for her. They both don't want to quit on each other, so they resolve it, get better, talk, and then once they halfway resolve it, Jeremiah talks about his conversation with Iris. He said things are good despite their argument. Now Huda is pissed again. Don't you ever tell some other girl about our problems. You never do that. Ever. Okay, girl, calm down. He didn't even say it in a tone of, my girl be tripping, but I still want to be with her. He didn't even say it in that tone. He was just like, you know what? Despite us arguing, I still want her. She is still my number one. He wasn't even saying it like planting seeds. I get the sentiment, because I definitely get you don't want to talk anywhere bad about your connection, but girl, calm down. Then you know what she says next, guys. Her favorite word. At this point, we all know who Too Short is talking about, and they have something in common. Her favorite word is the P word. Once again, pulls that out. Oh my gosh. Pulls that out again, talking about Iris. You have to calm down. You know her name, And if you don't know her name, you can just say her or she or something else. You really need to chill with that B word, man. She lets Jeremiah know again that she's always watching. He tells her she's cute. She says that he's toxic. He don't be all about that. He's like, oh, I'm not toxic. I'm not even gonna hold you. And then he's like, you're marking your territory. It's all good. And then she's like, you want me to get rid of her so you can talk to the other girls? Girl, get rid of? Can we keep it down a notch? This is just Love Island. You'll find another man. And then he says, you're scary. And then she gets all mad and says, then you can leave. And then they get another argument again. And he's just like, oh, you can't take a joke now? And then basically she admits that she gets on, kind of cuddles up with him and says, I can be a real B and say some really mean stuff sometimes. That would have turned me all the way off. It's just, I'm not going to be with no mean girl. Because that, Jeremiah may think, it's just for her friends, or, maybe she's just like that towards girls. But if you piss her off, it's coming for you next. So if you see a mean girl, please do not think you're exempt. And then we have Ace and Chelly talk. Ace tells her, I want to explore the connection with Iris. I'm still interested in you. Chelly obviously doesn't like that, but she was honestly, I think she was about to go tell Ace that, hey, I'm all about you. I think I'm kind of cut off with Austin. But now that now that he's saying that, Chelly's like, let me take a step back, which is a red flag for me, because I'd be pissed if I was Austin. I'm like, don't try to stay with me because now your first connection is not really all about you. Don't do that. And we saw the writing on the wall, Chelly. Come on, you saw that on the wall. And I'm just glad you didn't pump his head up, because now, like, if you would have told him, I'm all about you, he would have just really played you dirty. Of course, during this talk, he has a smirk on his face, and I knew it. As soon as he had another option, he was going to turn off the gas. I knew it exactly. And then everyone gets ready for bed. Chelly tells Alondria that she's mad that Ace wants to still explore, because why are you exploring every connection that you're coming into contact with? Hannah is mad at Charlie because he's talking to Iris while in bed. Huda and Jeremiah actually have relations. Can you believe that? They actually finished the deed. Oh my gosh, if y'all can't stand Huda now that they have had relations, y'all are really gonna be sick of her now. Oh my goodness. And then the end of the episode, to happen the day after you have sex. Oh, okay. All right. Be ready and buckle up. And then we have Ace get the breakfast ready for Iris. Of course, Huda already told all the girls her business. Ace gets a side eye from Alondria. Also, last thing about Huda and Jeremiah. Now he has put himself in a pickle, because now you can't leave Huda. You can't leave her, because now you're going to look like a jerk because you had sex with her and now you want to leave. Oh, you locked in for life now. And then we have Charlie, who pulls Iris to get to know her a little better. Hannah is pissed because she thinks it's tit for tat. And then we have Taylor and Hannah talk. He's trying to calm her down and be like, don't be a hypocrite, because you were just talking to Pepe as well. And then Alondra and Taylor talk about how Jalen gives her reassurance and how their connection is, different, and how they approach her is different. And at the end of the conversation, even after all that, and her begging, basically dropping so many hints about, hey, why can't you just give me reassurance? All he gives her is writing in the sand like we 10 years old. Writing in the sand is your best move, Taylor? You never be in the allegations with the girlfriend. You're never be in that girlfriend allegations. And then we have Charlie and Hannah talk. He says that it was all basic talk with Iris, and tells her basically the same thing Taylor said. Don't be a hypocrite. You can't be mad at me and then and call it, basically, you can't be mad at me if you're doing the same thing. And then also, I couldn't really tell if it was tit for tat really at the moment, but by the end of the episode, it was definitely tit for tat. He was just grasping at straws. I'm really surprised that the girls aren't really like fawning over Charlie. I think he's really good looking. And then we have, of course, they resolve it. They're good. Nick gets a text about the time for the challenge. It's called Got Wood, where they climb a tree, where the guys climb a tree. And then they ask a question. Once they get up there, they chop off the question, basically. They answer a question about a fellow guy, like a messy question. And then we have this seesaw looking contraption that cuts wood. And so basically the girl has to sit on him reverse, cowgirl, and they start rocking back and forth. Of course, some take it away, get carried away more than others, but that's just to give you a visual. The next one is where they stand on a wet log together and of course make out. And then the last one is where the guy, oh, actually, let me back up. So once you climb the tree, you chop off the question, answer the question, spray the guy who you pick the question applies to. That guy who got sprayed picks the girl that gets on the thing with the reverse cowgirl on it. You pick your own girl to get on the log. And then once you get to the cabin, there's a door. No one can see into it. You pick a random beaver, I believe, that has a name on it. And then you make out with that girl or do whatever you want in the cabin with that girl. So now the game has started. And then we have Austin, who is having way too much fun with Amaya. And anyways, we can move on from that. And then Ace will always be on Huda and Jeremiah's neck. Ace picks Huda to go with Taylor. And of course, Huda was kind of getting a little carried away and fell on his face with her butt. So Taylor was having fun with it. So it was all good. Nick and Alondria kiss, which I know people have been shipping them together. So very, very interesting. He seems really into her. So I'm surprised he's not pressing up on her more. And then we have, and then Nick brings her out on his shoulder. That was cute. I like that. That was so cute. And then we have Jeremiah took his chance with Alondria. For when Jeremiah saw it was Alondria's name, I don't know if he genuinely wanted to flip the script and really put his all in the challenges, or he really was feeling Alondria and wanted to really be up on her. I could not tell, but I bet Jeremiah is feeling Alondria. And then we have Ace, who goes next. I wonder why we didn't see Ace's first seesaw thing. Maybe they just ran out of time. Not sure. Pepe said Charlie got his seconds. Interesting. Oh, also, I'm just going over quick things that I saw. Sorry if y'all are getting confused. I don't want us to go over every single point. This review will be way too long. And then I'm very suspicious of how well Huda took Jeremiah and Alondria kissing. I think she had more problems with it. To be honest, I don't think she kind of took it cool as she said she did, especially last night. You just had relations. Oh yeah, you're hot. So the game ends and everybody debriefs with the guys, and then the girls split up. Nick be playing in Huda's face. I'm not even gonna lie, it's a little fake because you are her biggest hater when behind closed doors with Jeremiah. But then when you're in front of her face, you're like, oh, you're Huda, you're so brave. You're this, you're that. I'm down to be an uncle. Da da da. Boy, you better kiss that uncle thing goodbye after this. You are trying to break them up dang near almost as bad as Ace is. Jeremiah ain't having it though, so the guys let it go or whatever. Jalen and Alondria talk, and basically the topic of the conversation is that may the best man win. And he asked for a kiss again. I'm not sure if that's turning her off because later on in the episode she says she doesn't want things to start off too physical. So hopefully Jalen doesn't overplay his hand. And then we have Hannah and Pepe talk again as he asks where her head's out, not rushing her. She says that, of course she's ready to still explore. They kiss again. Hannah, please stop. But then the craziest part of it all, Charlie picks Amaya to talk, and then she basically rejects him because of how close she is with Hannah, starts crying, everything. She just feels like it would be too big of a betrayal, and she feels like he's just going tit for tat and being impulsive, which she is true. She is right. And I'm just like, Charlie, you went after her friend? That's kind of OD. Personally, that's kind of OD for me. And then Maya tells Hannah, of course, Alondria and Taylor talk. She tells him how the day went and how her talk with Jalen went. And then she told him about the kiss as well. It's just a pic. And then he acted like, oh, the cat's out the bag. It's just like, was she ever not going to tell you? The producers probably didn't even give her a chance to pull you aside. So let's not act too big and bold. Everything went well. Hannah and Amaya talk again about Charlie. She feels Hannah actually reveals that she feels better with Charlie because with Pepe, it feels like all her other relationships and being surface level, but she really wants to hone in with Charlie. Iris and Ace talk again. She feels like she always gets with nerds. She feels like Ace says that he is a secret nerd, which is interesting. I'm not saying I don't believe it, but kind of hard to believe. He may have nerd tendencies, but to be proclaimed to be a nerd, I don't know. Charlie and Hannah talk about today, and I was expecting her to be pissed about the best friend thing, but I think she knows that he's just reacting out of emotion, and then also she's done some wrong things too. So I think she just wants to forgive him and really get back into the relationship and really tell him how much she likes him and really wants to stay focused on him, and she doesn't want to kiss anyone anymore, which is great. Awesome. So I'm really, really happy for Charlie. Huda and Jeremiah talk about the challenge, and right when you think she was taking everything well, of course she didn't, and she kind of says some snarky little things, and then of course they just split off to Ariana coming, so we don't really get a resolve on that. And then she basically tells him, I was ready to get my lick back, and basically she didn't get an opportunity to. Then it cuts to Ariana. Ariana comes in, everybody goes to the fire pit. She tells them that America has been voting, and they have picked who is going to go with who with the new bombshells. Jalen with Alondria. Alondria shocked me. She had a smile on her face. She was ready to lead Taylor. She was like, okay, I got my man now. I got my countryman. And then he puts his arm around her. She leans in. She's smiling. She don't even look sad. I'm like, Alondria, at least look half sad. Don't be making Taylor feel that bad. Like, girl, it hasn't even been 2 seconds and you smiling ear to ear. Pepe goes to Hannah. Pepe's happy, but Hannah says she's more shocked. Iris goes to Jeremiah, which shocks everyone. Now, when I tell you America pulled through. I was so excited. I am ready for the crash out. I know that these are people's emotions and I kind of feel bad, but this is TV. This is what TV is supposed to do. And then, Ace, come to the front, please. Stop playing in people's face. Stop being so unserious. As soon as Ariana said Jeremiah, he starts laughing. I mean, laughing from the gut. It is so awkward. It's just like, bro, at least have a little bit of empathy. Don't be showing your hand so hard, bruh. And then we have Nick actually holds her. Nick unhand her because you are about to vote her off the island. So let's not do this. And I'm tired of you playing in her face because earlier you were telling Jeremiah to leave her and then you want to be all up in her face. Stop holding her. Tell her how you really feel. Iris is even shocked. Jeremiah said to Huda that he's going to miss going to bed with her and waking her up to her the next day. And then Huda is obviously pissed. When people are going around and voting for her, she just is bloodshot red, like eyes from crying and also being so pissed. I'm surprised she didn't say nothing while people were talking. I'm really surprised she held it all in. And then Jeremiah looking all sad. Boy, you can't even produce tears. Save it, please. And then we have, and then it comes out, of course, that the Islanders are, it's up to the Islanders to vote whoever off. Everyone starts crying, like really crying. And, mainly the guys don't, but, a lot of the girls start crying. Charlie advocates for himself and Hannah's connection. Sierra picks Charlie. Nick picks Huda, which is, once again, irritating because don't try to play to be her friend. And then Austin picks Taylor, which I think he was very, very nervous and didn't know who to pick and didn't know who to piss off because he probably was scared of Huda. If he picked Huda, he probably was scared of the reaction that he would get. And then as soon as he sat down, he said he effed up. Now, I'm really curious. Get him on After Sun so we can see what he was messing up on or what he feels like he effed up on. And then I wonder, well, actually, never mind. Let me get into this. Chelly picks Charlie. Ace picks Huda. Oh, Ace and his speech. Oh my gosh. He called them out. He was like, I think it's BS. I think that, basically there's ulterior motives here. I was like, are you in everybody's mind? Are you going to say the thing that everybody's trying to say? The producers love him. I already know he's got a spot to the end with all the nonsense. He's another Rob. He is ready to be on Love Island to the end. And then we have Amaya. Oh, also Huda and Jeremiah were pissed. I already see in the, next in the tomorrow night that Jeremiah and Ace go at it. And I'm ready because I think based off mouth, not off fist, I think Ace is going to get him personally. And then Amaya is the final vote. And unfortunately, Amaya picks Charlie. Amaya, you are so fake. How are you? Oh, she's my best friend. She's my best friend. And then all of a sudden you want to switch up and take out her man. Are you serious? At the end of the day, if anyone, you should have picked Taylor. Fine, you're scared of Huda or whatever. And Huda has a supposedly good connection. Why didn't you pick Taylor? You see that they're struggling with intimacy or whatever it is. Come on now.
stop playing and stop trying to sacrifice your own friend. And if I was her friend, I'd be like, don't talk to me for the rest of the night. I need some time to like decompress and everything. Do not talk to me because I think you're fake right now. And then Hannah, once she says Charlie, Hannah starts crying so hard. Like, that is the love of her life. Like, it's so sad to watch. Like, it was so sad. And Charlie, of course, went to console her, and it's time for him to leave the island. And unfortunately, that's our cliffhanger. So now we have the tomorrow night. A lot of tears. Ace and Jeremiah going at it. Reactions to the vote. I am so ready. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see y'all tomorrow.